Hello, friends. Welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody tonight. Hopefully you're having a good Thursday evening, or very early Friday if you're in Europe. I know there's at least a couple of you in here, but it is good to be back at it. We do, in fact, have bot construction in progress. It just hasn't really gotten anywhere yet. We're working on it. We're doing our best. we have the one unemployed bot, and that's pretty much it. But I figured it would be nice to spend at least a little bit of time today trying to get bots into different spots in that rhymes in the industrial area and continue fleshing out everything. We do have this drought, so we don't really have any power being generated except for from these guys, and then we have these gravity batteries which are rapidly depleting their charge. So it's gonna be a little bit rough for a while. Unless we are able to substantially increase our power output with the use of some engines, at least temporarily. So, I don't know. We'll get it figured out. My main goal was to have a nice time, at least for a little bit of this evening, with everybody, and see what we can get done. Bot factories prioritized by haulers. I don't believe they are, but presently there's not really any power being made, so I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. But we'll go ahead and do it anyway. Yeah, we have two engines right now. We are actually, these aren't even connected to anything. If I'm reading this correctly here, because that's going into, no, it should be going. Oh, these are all shut off because it's at night. Okay, that's why. Well, turbo mode it is. We'll see what our demand looks like in the morning when the beavers wake up. I think it's going to be substantial. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that says 6,800. Now it says 71. Now it says 73. So, suffice to say, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble here. At least for the rest of this drought. Because these are not going to last very much longer. We can actually blast this out. We have the technology. I don't know how far down this is, but I figured, you know, we have the ability to do it, so we might as well. Just blast this all the way down. Except not right here, because there's nothing there. And this piece right here also has to be brought down. Yeah, two engines are definitely not cutting it. Delete and rebuild. I mean, yeah, but that's a little cheaty, don't you think? Look how fast they're doing this. That's what I'm talking about. Get this in here. Let's go. Let's go, folks. I can blast this one, and then I can pop another triple right there, and then we're going to be in good shape, folks. At least to get another half a day out of this. We were going to build more batteries here, yes, but I don't have the resources, especially gears, to do too many of them. Alright, good. And away we go. So, I guess we could only go down one more, and that was it, and I just wasted all that extract, but, it's fine, I guess. Well, that means I can get away with putting the 2x on this side of the thing, which would be, I believe, here, maybe? Let's check. Yeah, that looks good. We'll put 2x's here, all the way down, because I know I can do these. And then 3x's here. I believe that will get us all the way to here. I know we'll be able to do that, and then, of course, these gravity batteries. 40 gears per battery, so yeah, I can only do 3 of these right now. They're using the gears to make the bot parts, which we really should keep going. We're just in a little bit of a pickle here with regard to power production. But these guys are... Oh, I didn't realize this was so much further up. Okay. Oh, there's that shanty song again. I was like, wait, where's that music come from? Did I finally lose my mind? No, we'll put that there. blast this away as well. Yeah, see how fast this is going down? Yeah, we really, really needed a whole lot of power for this. I hope I put that in the right spot. Well, it's fine. Is there a finite length to how far the batteries can drop, or will they go down indefinitely to the bottom of the map? Go down indefinitely. So, we've blasted down to the bottom of the map is what we've done here. And you can... Wow, this is just absolutely going super, super fast. You can build a giant tower all the way to the very top of the map and put gravity batteries on it. I think the maximum theoretical height is... I don't know, this might say like 64 or 68. You can go decently high. The resident expert on that would probably be MP3zilla, but I've not seen him in stream in a little bit. Don't know if he'll be able to make it or not, but next time I see him, I'll ask him. Or I could just search and see what it is. But I think it's fun to actually have interactions with people instead of just looking stuff up. That's half the reason you do the live streams, right? So you can talk to people. Max storage is 64. Oh, hey, Battery Smooth. Yeah, that sounds right. Hello there indeed. I want to say it's either 62 or 64. But we have 5 days left. We need to at least attempt to not get completely steamrolled by our lack of power here. So I'm going to just put in 2 of these engines just right here. We're not going to keep them here forever, but we do absolutely need to have some. So we're going to be hurting, folks. At least the food and the water situation's looking good. We did put pantries in a couple different places, and they do seem to be working splendidly, except algae rations, which we aren't making enough of, but that's not the fault of the thing. We have 3 unemployed bots. So what do we want to do bots-wise first? Remember that they have to be recharged at these charging stations. So, you know, honestly, I'm going to... Because we have a ton of science, I'm just going to unlock the bot part factories and have them work there because they can just go neat, and recharge the whole time. Nice and easy. Can we extend the water wheels? Eventually, yes. But that requires building the platforms, and I don't have a ton of metal. So I'm trying to focus on making bots first and then expanding this more. Once the water comes back, we should be producing enough power with this. Hopefully. Oh, I missed it, but that was the intermediary construction animation for the engine is pretty cool. That was an update that pushed earlier this week. It wasn't a big enough update for me to make a huge deal about it, but I did talk about it in the video that's coming out tomorrow. Just a tiny bit about the new intermediary building stuff. No, clear skies. No thunderstorms. It was so funny that it happened on Tuesday. Because it's like every time we get like a thunderstorm, it knocks the internet out. But my computer is upstairs on a battery backup, a UPS, whatever you want to call it. So all that stuff's always fine, no matter what. Like pretty much no danger to it. But the modem is downstairs because that's where the cable comes into the house. And I run everything off Wi-Fi. I know that the networking people in chat are cringing to death at this exact moment. But yes, I have everything in the house on Wi-Fi. Because I'm not drilling holes in the wall in the inside and getting up in the attic and fishing cable through the utility chase. It's 130 degrees up there. I'm not doing that. Wi-Fi is fine, but I need to get a UPS for the downstairs so I can put the modem on that. I think it's 62 with the batteries, 64 counting the height of the batteries. Okay. The mine is paused because we don't currently need it. We have enough scrap, and I didn't have, at the time, a need to really have this going. We will turn this on eventually. Can we please heal the beavers? We're working on it. That's why we're getting the bots. So the beavers don't have to work anymore. And the only healing we can do as Iron Teeth is just stick them in the beds. And we've got plenty of beds. It's like watching in 4D. Yeah. The summer storms are weird. For whatever reason, this part of the country will get really intense, like thunder and lightning without the storms being really bad, except when they are. And then it's like, okay, yeah, maybe turn your stuff off and go downstairs. But it's never really been like dangerous bad here. Asked our ISP if we had a generator, would the Wi-Fi still work? He said for a while, but there's a box where it ties into the house. It will run out and it'll stop it. So, what? Well, I guess it depends on how your internet's done. I have cable, which means it has to be energized at the. There's like a I don't know what the correct term is. I want to call it like a gang box or something, but it's like a big panel in some area of somewhere near where I'm at, where they have a bunch of connections to different addresses, and then at the street there's like a box that comes up out of the ground for your house and your neighbor's house, and then the main cable comes out of that and then goes into a buried line under the ground that goes into the house. But as far as I know, it's not energized from any of those. It just has the signal on the other end of the main trunk cable wherever their facility is. So as long as that has power, theoretically you should still have the ability to have cable internet. I don't know if anyone even still has a DSL, but that would go out all the time. Dial-up would sometimes still work if the power was out because, again, it was powered from the phone lines. Satellite, I don't know. If the satellite is not crashed, then I guess you have internet unless there's a cloud or a bee flies in front of the dish or something. Then all bets are off. Yeah, we're out of power, but we're working on it. I need to get those prioritized. And I really should be building more of these gravity batteries, but I don't have any. I don't have any gears, so we're kind of stuck on that. I have a couple of quote-unquote real jobs. I work with my family. We have a small business where we do, I guess, the easiest and safest way to avoid doxing myself would just say, we sell stuff to other businesses. And then I also do photography, and I have a couple of other freelance things I do. More gear factories won't help. We just need to have power. So right now these are operating at 20%. Although I guess I could go ahead and pause the majority of those. That'll save a bunch of power. And then dynamite as well. We can turn that down. Yeah, see, now it only needs 6635 instead of, you know, almost 8,000. And we still haven't made a single other bot since the, I don't know what, 10 minutes ago. It's fine, we'll get there. We only have to survive 2 more days. But I can't remember what the gears are going to. I'm assuming they're going to bot parts. Which would make sense. Because, yeah, these guys are going constantly to get this done. Alright, so... we had coffee growing over here. I think... they should be able to make coffee. Okay, yeah, there's coffee. There's 520 something. I love the texture of this with the slight color change at the edge that looks like a little bit of foam. Pretty smart. Crypto mining? No. I did 2013, late 2013, when people were like just starting to become knowledgeable about what Bitcoin was. And when I say people, I mean like extreme nerds like myself. Someone made, as a complete joke, a fork of the whatever crypto, whatever thing you want to call it, and they called it Dogecoin, after the meme, the dog, the Shiba Inu. I don't remember what the dog was named. It actually just died this past year, I think. But somebody was like, "Oh, we're gonna make Dogecoin." I was like, "This is incredibly stupid. I'm gonna mine this for the weekend and see if I can like ever do anything with it." So I mined Dogecoin within like an hour of the thing's launch for the entire weekend on a computer running a pair of cross-fired AMD 7850s. And at the end of the weekend, I had, I think, 82,000 Dogecoin, which at the time was essentially worthless. I converted it to Bitcoin and then sold that for, I think, $140. And then I went and I bought myself a Western Digital Caviar Black 1 terabyte hard drive, because that was the new hotness at that point. So I'm like, wow, a whole terabyte. I'm never going to fill this up. Yeah, okay. So anyway, that's what happened to my 82,000 Dogecoin. And then a couple years back, it was worth 63 cents a piece. And had I kept it, I would have had a very large sum of money for essentially a weekend of laughing at a meme. But that's not what ended up happening. That's fine. Maybe late to this, but when we talked about the new building animations, I did mention it at the top of the stream. And in tomorrow's video, I talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I've been impressed with all the ones I've seen so far. New viewer, love your game style. I appreciate it. Want to say hello, hello. Good to see you, Jezebel. Thanks for popping in, and I appreciate you watching. Buy more Dogecoin? No, absolutely not. That's not something I will be doing. But we have one day left in our cycle here. Then we'll be in cycle 69, and we'll have these wheels spinning again. And I still don't have enough gears to build any more of these gravity batteries. So unfortunately, these are just kind of stuck where they are. But they'll go up once this starts rotating again. I also missed out on the GameStop thing, which was kind of funny to watch happen. But, I don't know. Gambling with the stock market is not a good way to spend your money. I will officially say that. But do what you want with your money. I'm not your dad. But it would behoove you to be responsible when dealing with stuff like that. So these are... Wait, these are... Oh, okay, because we keep pumping water out here. Those are drying out. I don't know that this will fill up inside of 2 days. Oh, yeah, you know what? Well, it's going to be enough to turn these because it has to come up through here anyway to get out, but we might be a little dry over here. Those have a lot longer. These trees are pretty resilient. Over here is looking good. There's really not a ton more stuff that we need to do, quote-unquote, in this playthrough outside build all the monuments and then the Earth Repopulator. So I figured, you know what? Let's just try and do some bots for an hour, hour and a half. Wowee. Lost out on 17.3 billion by spending some inheritance on my car rather than the Bitcoin in 2010. But, okay, the thing is, as frustrating as I am, absolutely sure that is for you. You never know. You literally never know. You can't live your life being a slave to the past and regrets and all that. I struggle with that a whole lot, trying to figure out, oh, well, should I have done this, or whatever, and then you can spend all your time just being depressed about things that didn't happen, or you can just enjoy what you got. And sometimes it's easier to say that than to do it, but I have found that that is a much more helpful and enjoyable way to go through life. That's a lot of money, though. But think about it. If you would have kept it and sat on it, when would you have sold? Would you have sold at the first peak in, what, 2017 or whatever, when it was, what, 16,000 a piece? Because wow, there's no way it would have ever been more than that, and if you would have sold it then, you would have had a whole lot of money. But then it kept going up. Would you have regretted when it got to $30,000 a piece? Absolutely. And you would have beat yourself up for that too. So, be kind to yourself. It's important. But it's also worth noting that in 2010, the only people that were, like, actually using Bitcoin were either, like, super nerds or people on, like, the dark web buying illegal things. It didn't really gain super popularity until it was already worth a lot of money. Isn't 401k just pensions invested in the stock market? Yes. But those are index funds for the most part, like a Vanguard or whatever. And generally speaking, those do pretty well. What, 6 or 7% per year? I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. Don't ever take anything someone on the internet tells you as gospel truth unless you have exhaustively researched it for yourself. That goes for anything. But safe investing, I think, is always better. Wiring for Ethernet is the best decision you'll ever make. Yeah, but I'm not doing it in July. Or August. I guess it's August now. Because the attic is hot enough to kill you if you're up there for more than 5 minutes. I already did that once when I was in college. I had a house I shared with some guys. And we were renting it, so, don't do stuff to a house you don't own and expect to have any compensation for it. That's just not how it works. But we asked our landlord, he's like, "It's your house, my man, you do what you want to it." Like, all right, cool. So I got up in the attic with a little DeWalt drill and a spade bit, and I drilled holes in all of the I don't know what the correct framing terminology is for it, but like the top of the wall cavity through the head plate or whatever the thing is. And I lost like 5 spade bits in the wall, but I ran Ethernet drops to every bedroom in the house and the living room and then down into the basement where I lived, and I set up a patch panel and we had really good internet. It was great. It was miserable up the attic. It was terrible. It was legitimately one of the worst things I've ever done in terms of like being physically miserable. Just drowning in sweat and getting the fiberglass like jammed up in my arms and my fingers and everything. No. But I got a decent amount of stuff to do in our attic. Like put new insulation in and wire up ceiling fans and all that. So if I find myself having an excess of positive energy, then maybe I will think about trying to do that. But it's just, there's so much you have to do to run it in a house that is already finished without just making something look terrible, that you can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to do this today." It's like, okay, cool. If you have like a house where it's 1 story and you can put the patch panel like in a hall closet or something and just poke holes through drywall from the adjacent room, then okay, cool. Yeah, that's super easy. But if you have to go between like the 2nd floor and the 1st floor and then the basement and deal with buying plenum-rated cable so you don't void your homeowner's insurance or whatever, like, it gets complicated. There's a big reason why people pay a lot of money for people to do that stuff. Oh, nice. If you retire at 39, I think anyone would take that. I am glad that you had that sort of success. A beard coin, please no. You know the inside of a... What? Yes, I did actually know that. You meet interesting people in college. The big question is, how do you know that? Because I met some very interesting people in college. I guess that's all we need to say about. Very nice people. A little strange, but hey, do what you want. Whatever makes you happy. Imagine that on a football field at 100 degrees Fahrenheit to start and not... Yeah, so I also knew people who did mascot work. I was in band in college, and I knew people on the cheer team, dance team, and then, of course, part of that was the mascot. So I knew a couple people who did that. It's just like, if it's August, and it's 95 degrees outside, and you're wearing a mascot name withheld costume, you're not having a good time. They really did not get any enjoyment out of that outside of just, hey, I was mascot name withheld at university name withheld. Which is cool, but it is so hard. And no, not for me. I thought it was bad enough wearing the band uniform, and we had nice ones that were pretty breathable. But no, I don't think you could pay me enough to put one of those suits on outside. Did that to my house, put more insulation in it. Sucks because the entire time you're moving, all the insulation blowing, all the dust. Yeah. So what I was thinking, oh, okay, all right, home improvement chat. Let's be productive. Hey, there's 76 people in here. So I've seen a whole lot of stuff on the internet about a thing called rock wool insulation that's made out of like wool in these rock fibers or whatever, and it's fireproof, asterisk, and it's very dense, and it's good for sound deadening. And I was thinking of putting that up there. They make bats, and then they have the loose fill or whatever, but I was thinking about getting a bunch of bats and putting that up in the attic. One, because, hey, it's a good peace of mind. It's fireproof. It's good noise insulation, and it's compact for the R value that it has. It's more money, but I figured that would be cool. I don't know if anyone has any experience with that, but that seems much more appealing to me than just getting the pink roll stuff or the blow-in fiber or paying someone to come in and do the spray foam. Because your attic also has to be configured for that, for it to make sense. Batteries going up slowly overnight, but yes, eventually they'll be all the way back up. I was the mascot in middle school for the basketball season. It was horrible. Yep, sounds about right. Probably one of those things you think, wow, that would be super fun to be the mascot, and then you put the suit on, and you do like the dances and all that. and then like kids throw things at you, and you're like, this is terrible. Why did I want to do this? It's the top plate. Okay, simple enough name. Don't want a spade bit. You need an auger bit. Get a 16-inch from. Ah, okay. Well, I did it with spade bits. They just kept coming out of the drill chuck because I guess it was not tightened enough or whatever. But no, the spade bits worked great. It was an older house, so the top plates were not doubled. It was just dimensional lumber, and it was like one board thick. The house I live in now, it was considerably better built and has the double top plate on the walls. Always insulate and condition the attic that way your ducting isn't fighting in the summer heat. Yeah, that's part of the problem why it's so hot up here. The unit works great. It's, I don't know, probably at this point over 20 years old, and we've had no real issues with it. But it cannot cool effectively if the attic is 130 degrees. Like, it's just not going to work. The problem is you can't encapsulate the attic if it was not originally designed to be encapsulated, because there's different ways the construction of for American houses that are made out of quote-unquote matchsticks and paper, you have to build the eaves in a certain way, or else if you do the spray foam, then it's going to completely clog stuff up and you'll get a lot of mold. And then all the peak vents and everything, it has to be done in a way that makes sense for you to use the spray and foam. Or you have to, when you have stuff replaced, just rip it all out and completely redo it. Our band uniforms were wool polyester blend. My deepest sympathies to you. That's got to be the stuff from like the 60s, 70s, 80s before they started getting smart about it. Which I guess if you live in the north or some sort of climate where it's, not 100 degrees outside for the first half of marching band season, then yeah, it's probably great. Nice and toasty in the winter. You're doing your Christmas parade on like December 6th at 9 in the morning, and it's 15 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Yeah, probably good to have that on there. Rockwool is awesome. It's 2 times as expensive. Yeah, that's what I was seeing. But I think it's always worth it to invest in quality stuff when it comes to your house or anything that separates you from the ground, like shoes, mattress, or tires for your car. Yes, we need to actually, do stuff. Do stuff in the game. I'm going to have the bots start making bots. That'll take care of all these guys. So that should take beavers out of the most dangerous jobs. They can start making more and more of their own stuff. Sounds like the attic is not properly vented. No, it is. We actually just had the new roof put on, and it has the ridge vent is completely end to end. Plenty of room for the air to move around. We have the soffit vents and everything. All just redone. It's just really hot up there. Blown-in insulation's better for renovation, but you probably need to come back the next year to add in places you couldn't tell were thin when you put it in. Yeah, that's what I was going to do a little bit more research on, but I know for sure in between the ceiling joists needs to have batting there, and right now we have the pink stuff. Owens Corning or whatever it is, the fiberglass insulation. And sometimes we have to go up there to change the filter in the furnace or some other stuff that you have to get in from up there. And I hate that stupid pink stuff getting all over the place. And Scratch is like, you know what? If we can replace it with something that's going to be denser, more efficient for actually insulating, even if it costs a little bit more money, I think it's worth it. And then on top of that, then maybe put some blow in something else later. Batteries are connected to the factories, yes. High school in North Texas, marching band was hot all season. Yep, sounds about right. Sweating through the uniform in December. Okay, well then the question I would have, tubas for life, agreed. I bet you have crazy stories. I have some that I probably should not share from my friends who are tuba players in band, but if you're in North Texas and you're buying band uniforms and it's not 1965, why would you ever buy thick, like really thick band like jackets and the bibbers and all that stuff? Because now you can get, I have no idea of knowing how old you are or when you would have been in band or if you are currently in band. But I know the new stuff, all the old people who did like drum corps and marching band, like in the I don't know, like before Jimmy Carter was president, get really, really mad when you bring up like new band uniforms that aren't made out of polyester, and they're all like the spandex, lycra, or whatever, because those are super comfortable. They breathe really well. You can move around great, and they're cheaper than the regular uniforms are. But for some reason, people just get really, really mad when you bring it up. It's honestly kind of funny. But those things are so much better when it's hot outside. Or if you're doing really strenuous stuff or you have a lot of body movements and everything that you're trying to do, you can't do that in normal uniforms. Thinking about SIP panels? I do not know what that is. Boy, I hate with a burning hatred working with insulation. The last time I did was when I insulated the roof of my terrace and itched for a literal week. Yeah, it's the worst. And anytime that I had to do that before, I would put on long pants and like a long shirt, and I would like duct tape the cuffs. So like nothing, it would still get in. It gets everywhere. It gets kicked up in the air and you breathe it in. And, like, you're supposed to wear a mask, but it's hot, so you don't want to. It's like, this is miserable. Why would anyone do this? Never let innovation stand in the way of tradition. Yes. I'll tell you what, man. People just get really mad when stuff changes. And sometimes it's justified, right? Like, if something changes and it's really stupid, and you say, well, why would you do that? It was perfectly fine before. But sometimes stuff changes and it's actually an improvement. And people just don't understand that. Yeah, hot showers, open the pores, scrub like crazy. And once you're absolutely sure, then you blast it cold and it seals the pores back up. Roof construction is just regular. It's not trusses or anything. It's just framed on top of the inside of the house. It's not terribly big. Two conversations going on at once. We have more than that, and then we have nothing happening in the game, and I'm sure at least a couple of you are irritated about that. So let's actually get something going here. I'm going to research gears. And we're going to start automating the gears. And I have one more left. I'll just turn all these for bots so we don't forget that. Yeah, see, that's going up. Very good. And then I'm going to just keep building a couple more of these. And hopefully that will help these guys do what they got to do. I'm watching a guy in Canada build a cabin he's insulating with Havelock wool insulation. I've not heard of that. Looks like it sells in the US. It's made of wool scraps from clothing. I've seen denim insulation also. I want to say it was on like Linus Tech Tips or whatever a long time ago. They were doing their server room and they had these bats of it was like either a combination of wool and denim or whatever, but it was also fireproof. They held a like a flamethrower torch up to it, and it wouldn't catch on fire. Yeah, I've got some time to think about stuff, but it's just I have no energy to go. Oh, we're going to look at the different structure things as they updated everything. So half built looks pretty cool, but when it's hot outside, you don't want to do anything outside. You don't want to do anything in the attic. It's just miserable, and it's legitimately hazardous too. Like if you are a little older or you have breathing conditions or something, you can't do that to yourself. Hi, future self, going to bed. Good to see you anyway. Denim equals cellulose. It's great for insulation, but mice love to make nests in it. Oh, I don't want that then. It doesn't matter how clean you keep your house or anything. You will get rodents and you will get insects if you live in the middle of nowhere. It is impossible to stop them from coming in. Hey, Goliath. The day was a busy day, but I'm glad we get to spend a little bit of time doing stuff tonight. Not going to be a super long stream, maybe another hour or so, but I did want to try and get bots into as many things as I possibly could and get the beavers on a little bit more of a track to a happy and healthy life, at least for the duration of the playthrough. So we built Flame of Unity and Labor Monuments over here. We need, I don't know why I clicked on power, we need to build a Tribute to Ingenuity, and we need to build the Earth Repopulator. And I think the Earth Repopulator is probably going to be something that needs to go right about here. We can research... Oh, that's huge. We can research it, but I don't have the materials to build it. Actually, no, that's not in range... Oh, jeez. Lag. It's not in range of the houses, so maybe... so that's not really going to work. We'll figure it out. We got some time. That's not going to be today. Alright, so now we're dead even on bots versus available jobs for bots. We automated the gears. I think next will have to be planks, and then we'll keep working on other stuff. %, contaminated. Did this ever get uncontaminated? 1%. That was a very weird coloration change that happened here. I don't know why it did that. But this still has a little bit of contamination in it, which is unfortunate. I still have these, in theory, operating enough to draw the rest of that out. But I think it might actually be pretty close to 0%. The rest of this is still paused because we didn't need it, and I was trying to get these gravity batteries recharged. And they are recharging, it's just slow. Alright, and I've got 55 gears. I probably shouldn't be using them all at once, but we will need to build a couple more of these, especially if it's going to be a drought next cycle. We don't know for sure, though. Architect, master student, by the way, but I'm in New Zealand. I'm not sure how you build in the U.S. Okay, Dalton got you covered. But yeah, concrete foundation below the frost line to a pad, wood bolted to the foundation, 2x4 walls with 16-inch on-center studs for walls filled with insulation wrapped in Tyvek. Yep. It does vary sometimes, but that is the vast majority of houses in the U.S. built in the last 50, 60 years are going to be built like that. Older homes sometimes will have studs on larger on center to like 24 inches or something, and sometimes you'll see that in attics as well, or sheds, or other non-insulated buildings will sometimes have larger gaps between studs, but that is, for the most part, what a lot of houses are. Newer houses are trending to have thicker walls, so they'll use 2x6s, or sometimes, if you have a lot of money, 2x8, and they'll fill that with the spray insulation, and then just put sheetrock, drywall, gypsum board, whatever your area calls it, on that. I know in a lot of Europe, the houses are made out of masonry, and they don't use drywall or whatever. They'll have plaster. Sometimes they don't even do that. It's just stonework. Advice from an old retired carpenter. No, I know you guys are watching. I look at the analytics. There's a pretty healthy contingent of people over the age of 65 who watch these videos. And I want you to know that I appreciate you. Rock will get all over the place if it's blown into the attic as well. Yeah, I know you can get the loose fill. And I thought about I don't want to do it until I have Ethernet ran, because I don't want to sit there scooping it out, but I thought about going and... I think you can rent those the spray insulation, the ones that churn up the blocks of stuff and then shoot the loose fiber fill, not like from a spray gun. But you can rent those at Home Depot or whatever, and then just get the bags and just shoot it in all the different corners. Roofing material, for the most part, it's asphalt shingles in the U.S. But some houses, especially if it's like a farmhouse style, will have what they call standing seam metal roofing. I don't know if you guys call it that, but it's corrugated metal, and they call it standing seam because the seams between the panels is vertical, and it's hidden by like the folds of the material. So in theory, it shouldn't ever leak. But the vast majority will be either asphalt shingles or standing seam metal, or depending on if you're in a place like the Southwest, you might have the terracotta tiling, or you could just have a flat roof with the whatever material on it. Two unemployed bots. Thanks for keeping a lookout on that while I'm talking about American architecture in chat. But we'll go ahead and flip these over as well. I know we don't have enough bots to fill all these jobs yet, but I want to make sure we're keeping ahead of that. You've never seen asphalt shingles? Yeah, asphalt shingles, they come, depending on which ones you get. The older triple tab or 3 tab, whatever you want to call it, I believe those would be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 12 inch by 36 inches, maybe a little bit shorter on the long side. But now they have different, I guess they call them architectural shingles or whatever. But they're a little bit thicker. They're still made out of asphalt for the most part, but they're a little bit thicker and they have different designs on them so they don't look quite as weird. Yeah, slate shingles is going to be popular for older homes. Wooden shingles were a big thing, especially in Southern California in the 60s and 70s. They would have little wooden shingles, but those would catch on fire constantly. So a lot of insurance companies were mandating that those have to be replaced. So now most of that is either going to be the terracotta tiles or the asphalt shingles. What do you think about the tiles, which are also solar panels? I love the idea of solar power. It's not practical for the vast majority of people unless you live in a very sunny place and you're planning on keeping your house until you die. Because the time it takes to get a return on your investment for solar is just astronomically long. To the point where if you're not under 40 years old, it's probably not worth your money to put them on there. Unless the technology substantially improves. Like, it will take you 30, 40, 50 years to get the benefit back in the form of smaller energy bills versus the cost of putting them on. But now if you get a subsidy or a tax credit or something else, or you get a really good deal on it, then okay, maybe that time is a little bit less. But if you're not in a place that gets full sun constantly 365 days a year and you don't have access to other stuff, it's probably not worth, from a purely financial perspective, it's probably not worth doing. Why are you dumping bad water while still pumping? Because I never built anything other than these couple small tanks for bad water storage. Because I keep thinking about stuff I'd rather talk about than play the game. But we can put another one of these tanks in. We probably should have one anyway. But I do only have one of these dumps actually dumping. I want to be able to keep pumping the bad water, not only from here for use, but also from this to get this down to 0%. It's going to take a long time. Because they can still squeeze some of it out. I'm going to let them keep doing it until that says 0, and then we'll be done. And I have enough of these to go ahead and probably put 3 more. Yeah, the solar panels won't last long enough to get an ROI. That's what I was trying to get at, too. Not just from the perspective of the physical panel will wear out and need to be replaced, but chances are, unless you're really young and you have the money to do it, it's probably, from a financial perspective, not worth it. But it is nice to have the idea that you can generate some of your own power and not have to be as reliant on the power grid, especially if you live in a place where it's unreliable. Yep, we got another drought coming, so we do need to make sure they get these gravity batteries in. I think as a supplement, especially in the summer months, if you want to be, say, running the air conditioning during the day and not have to worry about your electric bill being $900 or something, then cool. Yeah, I mean, you're going to spend a lot of money up front to put the panels in, but that does help, I guess. Or if you have an electric car you want to charge and just have that going, then all right, cool. It's a comprehensive, like, vertically integrated energy solution if you have the money for it. More wheels? Yes, I was going to put in some more down here, but then we had all this other stuff go on. Oh, one of the fixes, I don't know. Well, none of you have seen the video for tomorrow yet, but this now works with the delete tool. It no longer deletes the impermeable floors underneath. That was a fix they did this past week, I think. Which is awesome, and I'm so glad it's a thing. So now we don't have to worry about it. But we can go ahead and put in... Oh, I always want to click the wrong thing. These are the 5x1s. That needs to have a space here. Oh, that bothers me. That doesn't match up like that. That's annoying. But that will need to go there and there. And then on top of that, we'll need to build the wheels. And then, of course, we'll have to have the power connected. But these do have to get built first. Panels also reduce electric bill in the summer by shading the roof. Yes, they do. Again, if you have the money and you can justify it, do it. It's cool. But You got to make sure they do it right, because all you're doing is you're drilling a whole bunch of holes in the top of your house, and if it rains a lot, you're going to get leaks unless they are very good at what they're doing. Getting bills down by half to 2/3. Really? Well, that's good. You must live in a good spot for that then. Yeah, whole home generators are also a very good idea from a preparedness perspective. They're just really expensive. And that is one of the good things about those solar setups. You can also get, I know if you want to go with Tesla, they have the power wall, and there's other things that are becoming available now that are just battery backups. Like, I see these things advertised all the time on YouTube that are just these giant boxes with big batteries in them, and they will connect to solar panels, and they have different plugs for 15 amp, 20 amp, USB charging, whatever, and they say, oh, you can take this camping. And like, all right, cool. But I've also seen people put them in their houses and actually have, who was it? I think it was the 8-bit guy. He lives in Texas. He does a bunch of videos about old technology. If you haven't watched his videos, please do. If you have any interest in like computing, video games, and other technology from the 80s, really, really informative, nice guy. But he did an install in his house with some solar panels, and he has a couple of those battery backup power bank things. And he put a, I don't know what the term is for it, but it's one of those switches in your electrical panel that will disconnect you from the grid and then connect you to this other thing that you've got plugged in. And he was able to run his house, most of the stuff in his house they would need to run, like the refrigerator and a couple of appliances and a window air conditioner or whatever, for most of the day, just off his solar panel and the battery power that he had saved up. Pretty cool. And I don't think that stuff that he had was terribly expensive. That was, it might have even been something somebody sponsored him with. I don't remember. But there's a bunch of options. Newest generation of solar, is looking to run water through the panels and microchannels. The same heat that makes the solar work also destroys it. Active cooling. That's pretty smart. I bet that's really expensive, though. Yep, issue that is the gain that you get from the water cooling is offset by the power consumption of the water pump. Yep, somebody made a comment on, I think it was one of the videos, not one of the streams, but they said, well, can't you just have water dumps in front of the power wheels and then they spin that? Well, the water dumps don't really dump out enough unless you had a ton of them. But you can, and people have done this with the deep mechanical fluid pumps. They have made quote-unquote perpetual motion machines. But you have to have so many wheels to offset one pump, it's insane. I think Skystorm did it. Oh, hold on. These guys are over here not having charge. I should have fixed that. Should have done that. Let's put a couple of these charging stations on the end here. And then we'll need to put a couple... see, that's not going to work. I got to figure out how I'm going to do this here. Right here should also work. I just need to have more of these charging stations. I keep forgetting about it. I don't think there's anywhere else I can put one. Except maybe... Oh, yeah, here would work. Here and here and here. For sure. Get those put in. Transfer switch moves you from mainline power to battery. Yep, okay, that's what it is. You can build an overhang through an existing triple platform? Really? Like, through, like, the stilts on the triple platform? Alright, we're gonna do science here. Find a place where they can't actually, get in here and start building it. So you're saying, if I have a triple platform, and I put something, say, right here, then I do... Oh, that's so cool. Does it work if you're right next to a double platform? No. Does it work if the triple platform is right next to it? Yeah, sure does. That absolutely has to be a glitch, and I am fully expecting them to patch that. But that is pretty cool. I don't think I would ever use it, though. Good to know. Oh, the lag. Alright. How are we doing here? Did they build any of these? Yes, they did. Okay, cool. Alright. Let's see. Have to put the disconnect in when you run a generator. It'll push power down the line and possibly zap a lineman. Yeah, don't do that. Please do not zap linemen. Some electric companies offer lower rates at night. Yep, they do. Storing electricity in a battery to be used during the day can make sense, and it does. Everybody's situation is different with regard to stuff like that. I just know, like, I did math. I know, hard to believe. But for my specific circumstance, well, one, I don't have the money to buy the panels anyway, but I have, I guess, a house that is in a reasonably good location to get good sun. We don't have trees overhanging the house, so it does get full sun on the top of the house pretty much all day, except like the late evening. But the amount of money that we would have to spend to put panels up, we would not make it back before any of us were still alive. Like, maybe if I ever have, like, unlimited stupid money, do something fun like that, but no. Mine disconnected from the district center? No. The mine is not. These storages... Wait a second. Is it? Because I have the... Okay, no, I guess it is. I thought I fixed that. So I had, alright, let's peel this back. Oh, you know what? It absolutely is. I took this one piece of path out. Well, I mean, we're not using it, so it doesn't matter, but, I'll hook it up anyway. Because that should be hooked up. We can have them fill this stuff for when we actually need to use this, but, we had so few gears, I didn't want to mess with it. So these are going down rather quickly, but since there are more of them, it's not quite as big of a deal. I'll just build one right now because I only have the 50 gears. But every little bit makes a difference. Thunder pumpkins, internal combustion engines that run off of unrefined natural gas. That sounds safe. Straight from the source if you happen to own a house directly over a natural gas source. I don't know that I would want to own a house directly over a natural gas source if we're being perfectly honest, but that is pretty cool. Did you know the new update had every building have a building animation? Yes, I did. It is very cool to see. I guess when they start building this gravity battery, I can show you this one, but we've been looking at them a couple times over the course of the stream so far. Bots unemployed, we can go ahead and pop these guys in. For bots, give them a little bit of a thing to go. But yeah, you see the frame here? It just, once it's partially built, that shows up. That's pretty cool. Food, excuse me, food-wise we're looking good. Algae rations still a problem, because I'm pretty sure we only have, we only have these 3 growing algae. We need more, but we're not quite there yet. So what I could do, let's see, I could do doubles here, singles here. We could extend this out a little bit. In West Virginia, the local government will actually fine you for having solar or any green energy because it takes away coal jobs. Well, that seems pretty dumb. That ship sailed a long time ago over there. They'll double your property. Yeah, that's just vindictive governance. That helps nobody. Notice the frame being unpainted compared to the finished battery? Yes. Again, this game is good. The art style, the consistency and everything in this game is just fantastic. They've done such a good job with it. I'll just keep putting these back in. If you have enough power, why not switch scientists to the number cruncher? I do not. Cannot afford number crunchers right now. We need to make a lot more power before we can justify having those. Probably need to have water wheels all the way down this whole thing first, because those suck up constantly 500 HP. That's a lot, and it only makes 10 science per hour. Right now we have beavers that have nothing to do, so we might as well just put them in the adventure huts. Do we have a Pamela? I don't think so. We have not been keeping up with Pamelas. It would be funny though if we had a beard booster named Pamela. I don't think we do. But no, that's their peas right there. We don't have a Pamela. Apart from the monuments, what else can you do to improve beavers' well-being? We could do, we have the wind tunnels, we have exercise plazas, we have a bunch of stuff we can do. We just haven't, because we've been busy doing other stuff. But we've got a bunch of space up here that we could do some recreational things on top of. We also have the motivatoriums, we have mud baths, and of course the frog statues. And the detailer, but I don't have any things on that yet. This is actually pretty big to put a thing up here. Exercise plaza the same size. Rooftop terraces probably make the most sense for up here. So I'll put a few of these in. We'll just have this go around the outside. And then there's a couple other things we can pop up here. Scratchers or any other decoration things. We've got beaver busts and statues and all sorts of stuff we can build. We just haven't. Oh, we can also... This is something that we did in the other playthrough. We can put the little roofs in front of the doorways. So let's do that, actually. I think that always looks nice. Yeah, just these guys right here. That'll cover everybody inside. It gets a little bit more difficult when you have these stacked things, depending on how you have everything positioned. But right here, this should actually work pretty well. Plus, I think this just looks nice to have the little gables right there. And this is going to look cool here, too, because there's 3 in a row. Actually, 5 in a row, because of how this is set up. Now, in real life, you wouldn't build it like this, because this would have a whole lot of places for water to get trapped in and cause rot, but as far as we're concerned, we don't have to worry about that. It's pretty cool. The only bad thing is we can't do it underneath here, because they have these double platforms, and we can't do anything else about that. Had 500 beavers on hard and everyone starved to death. Yeah, that 500 beavers on hard is an accomplishment, even if they do all starve. But yeah, that's a whole lot of stuff you got to keep track of. Do we think that this is going to hit everybody? It's not going to, no. But it gets most of them. Gonna release more videos every day? I got one coming out tomorrow. Boosters will get it as soon as this stream is done. That's the Update 6 Folktales. And then Saturday's Prison Architect, Sunday is Water Beavers, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the Folktales until that series is done. Tuesdays is Penguins. Thursday, Sunday is Water Beavers, and then Saturday is Prison Architect. But Prison Architect's going to be done pretty soon. Penguins is going to be done pretty soon. And this stream series is probably going to be done inside of a couple of weeks, if we keep streaming 2 to 3 times a week. So we're going to have some new stuff to try. I've got a couple ideas. You guys have suggested things that we are going to try out. Not everything, but I'm going to try a couple things, and I've got some other games I want to get to as well. 100%. Yeah, I believe Captain Beefylog is homesteading, which would be a perfect use case for solar. Would be cool if Timberborn added rain. Yep. I feel like it's every stream now we end up talking about this and how good of an idea it is. But to have like a 3rd season option, I guess technically 4th because Bad Tide is this season, but where it would rain and overflow your aquifers and your dams and everything. So you would have to have some sort of backup emergency overflow dam spillways. It would be very fun. In Australia, oh, absolutely. Australia is like probably one of the best environments on the planet for solar. But there are other problems with Australia, as anyone who has lived there will tell you. So on cycle 87, I got 3 30-day droughts in a row. Yeah, that would absolutely murder anyone. So rest in peace to your beavers, I suppose. We did a series year and a half ago or so. I think it was an update 4, where I had droughts. It was either 39 or 49 days in length. And it was very, very hard to keep water for that. That was a custom difficulty we did. Yeah, the base looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I am not so much in love with this being asymmetrical here, but I think this looks pretty neat. It's not perfect. There's a lot of stuff I definitely could have changed, but I think I am pretty happy with this. How are the beavers going to reach the new rooftop terrace? That's a good question. I did not account for that. I'm just going to have them come in from this way. I don't really have any other better way to do it because of how this is configured. But for the time being, since this is what it is, I might as well go ahead and just put in a staircase here to let them get up there, and then I can put in another one of these things here so they could just have a little jog to get in that way. It is the Taco Bell. Dynamite's ready. For what? I thought we were done with dynamite. Unless I just forgot. Oh, I mean, we could blow up some other stuff, we just haven't. See, they still haven't even done this yet. Oh, they can't reach it, duh. But, you know what we can do? If I have the metal for it. No, I do. Okay. Yeah, we can just, you know, expand this. Make sure we put our wheels in. And we can just keep on tying things in this way. Doing what we gotta do. How bad are these? Yeah, they're pretty bad. We have 3 days left and they're about a third capacity. We're gonna have some problems, but I can put another one of these here. And this is gonna have to get blasted down. And then I think I can fit one more of these, but I don't know if I need to or not. Algae. Oh man, I forgot about that. See, this is why streams are great, because you guys can remind me what I haven't remembered. Oh, this is going to cause problems if I do this. I can't do doubles here. Well, I can't do doubles here. I have to do a single, and then I have to blast that down, and then they can walk around to do this. But yes, we will definitely keep going with all this. Asked what the bell sound was. No, that's just the shift change thing. It's the thing you can build with the iron teeth, where anytime the shift ends, like right here, or starts, like right here, then it'll just go off. There's no benefit to it, it just makes a sound. I thought it was cool. Okay, so that's done. Then I can put in another hydroponic garden here, and then another one on top. We have a lot of extra mushrooms, so I think I can make both of these into algae. That should help quite a bit, because the algae takes, what, 280 hours? 288 hours. And the mushrooms take 192, so that's a long time. Oh, that's what the hydroponic garden looks like when it's partially built. That's pretty cool. Even the dynamite's got one. Oh, how about that? That's cool. 3 unemployed boys. Bots. We can call them boys. Where was I going to put those guys? I'm pretty sure... Let's take a look at what is automated, what's not automated. There's a lot of stuff we've got to do. Lumberjack flags have always been unlocked, I guess. Lumber mills. Okay, there was 1 and 2 that were not automated, so now those are. This isn't built yet. The food stuff is probably going to be the last to get done. Gear workshop. Oh, O'Reilly. This one should not have been automated because there was no power infrastructure here, but we can just build a charging station here and that'll be okay. And then put a couple more in. And eventually everything's going to be taken care of anyway. It's just going to be a process. Can I make bots go on this? Oh, that would have been so funny though. Like, what a huge waste of bots to run them around a power wheel. But, I don't know, I thought it was funny. So how is this looking here? Good. Excuse me. ASMR of swallowing. I'm sure someone out there really desperately wants that, so there you go. Oh, I got an email. I'm now live on my channel. Thanks, YouTube. Had no idea. So hopefully, I mean, we have 280 algae already. So you know what? I actually don't remember what's making what. This is making corn, eggplant, algae, corn, and eggplant. Okay. So we only have one. Only have one doing algae. I should probably prioritize these. Oh, okay, the other one was. Alright, I see something green in the chat. Let's find out. JB! Hey, good to see you. Thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Languished Being, Matthew Purdy, Renato Juras, Leandro Miranda, and Jen Triba. Welcome to the Beard Boosters. Courtesy of JB. You'll get tomorrow's video today. As soon as we're done with the stream, that'll go live for you guys. And then everybody else can see it tomorrow morning at 10:30 Eastern, as it is supposed to be. Except one time this week I did it at 7:30 instead of 10:30, and whatever. It was just early. I don't know why, but it's fine. Missed the last couple streams. Good progress. Yes, we've made a lot of good progress. In case you haven't seen, because I don't know exactly what you've missed, we built this up a little bit more. We've got mangroves. We've got coffee now. Working on it. Everything has been diverted in terms of bad water. This is still at 1% contamination. It's probably going to be a while before that goes away. But we're working on it. We're expanding our power down here. Eventually this is all going to be this entire length right here. We're going to have the large water wheels and then everything else off to the side. But we need to make more power, so I'm just using engines and getting everything popped in accordingly. This is going to have to be right like that. Actually, I'll do 4 ways, because then I can put one of these charging stations in that we seem to need. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff done. We've been having a very fun time. One lone spot by the food factory. Where are you talking about? Because they can't get back here. This, the power's not going to be transmitted off of the corner. It only comes off of the flat sides. So I could not put one here, unfortunately. Does bad water float on top or sink underneath the fresh water? As far as I'm aware, it just completely integrates. And this is only at 1%, so it's kind of hard to see. But I don't know if it's 1.9 or if it's 1.1 or if it's 0.51 and it just rounds up to 1. It's not very granular, but that's why these are still pumping. Hey, Devilish Fun. They are still pumping here. It's probably going to be like that for a while. Probably build more batteries in front of the bot factories. Maybe, depending on how we want this to go. I think for right now, how this is set up is fine. I do have to keep blasting. There's just a lot of blasting that has to occur here. Hello, hello. More medical beds might be... No, I thought we had like 18 before. But we have enough medical beds. We have, what, this is 7, this is 4, so that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 20. At least 20 medical beds, and we only have 15 injured beavers, so we're completely fine on that. We're good. Beaver run, where the end goal is just to have the colony run solely by bot-on-wheel power while real beavers keep working all their jobs. I don't think bots can go on the wheels. I know they for sure can't go on this one, but that would be interesting. Wait a second. This doesn't have to be double dynamite. Why did I do this to myself? This definitely doesn't have to be double dynamite. It can just be single. What a waste. We didn't have to deal with copyrights. I say we need a, so I started blasting emote. I mean, I don't think YouTube would care if it was just an emote. But if I played the clip, then yeah, they probably wouldn't like that. Twitch, I don't think cares as much. Or at least you can get away with it on there. Pretty much every stream I've ever been in on there, watching or hosting or whatever, has had GIFs or clips from movies or TV shows or whatever. Sound effects used incessantly. And as far as I know, nobody's ever gotten a copyright strike for it. But YouTube is not as accessible for stuff like that, just from the standpoint of you can't integrate as much into a stream. If I ever have the time and the ability to get Twitch up and running again, then there will be plenty of those. Plenty of those. Rest assured, I've got many saved, lined up, ready to go. But time is hard. That's the hardest thing. And since we're already on YouTube, it's just easier to do this versus trying to essentially start from scratch on a completely different platform. That does have a lot better of integrations for stuff like that. Unemployed bots. Right you are. So what's next? We already have these. Smelters, probably? Yeah, smelters would be a good one. We'll do those 3 to start, and then we have 5 more over here. This one needs to be set to prioritize. That's good. Cataclysmo uses RMB to rotate buildings. That would jack you up. Yes, it will. If you're used to other key combinations, it'll absolutely jack you up. So we should have water coming back very soon to rotate these guys. Somewhere down here. Yep, there it is. Just got to do these one piece at a time. I actually don't even know how much further down I can go. Oh, that one was already down. Okay, cool. That'll be the last one. Alright. Get this guy turned over. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and tick all of these over to the bots. There we go. That way that'll allow us to go off and do other shenanigans for a while. Alright, I think we're going to want to go ahead and just get as much of this built out as we can. And then, let's see. I know I can do at least 5 and 5 here. Then put more wheels, because we're going to have stuff coming in sooner rather than later, for sure. Yeah, they're not turning because there's no water flowing through them yet. The water is not currently high enough to go through our secondary chute here. It will be soon, though. It's just a function of pumping out of here for drinking water during a drought where it all goes away. Yeah, in just a moment we should see this trickle through here. Yeah, these are taking their sweet time, for sure. No, you don't need to apologize. We're here. We're all here to have a good time. Alright, so that's taken care of. All of these are now fully height optimized. Get 34,000 capacity. We have how many of these? Math. We got like 20-ish. 21, 22. What season would be great to refill water storage after a drought or bad tide? Well, what do you think the temperate is? That's wet. It's just not overly wet. Yep, there goes our rotations again. Oh, look how cool this is. I didn't even see the framings. That's neat. Extra wet, yep. Were you in chat like 10 minutes ago when somebody brought this up? Well, the fact that it keeps coming up as much as it does probably means they need to just hurry up and do it in the game. Or somebody can make a mod for that. Look how cool this is. The little skeleton thing here. And they're even like inconsistent lengths too, which is neat. Extra wet. Yeah, that's like when you go order buffalo wings. Get them extra wet, extra sauce. Stepped away, so I must have missed it. That's okay. It's a good enough idea that's worth just discussing constantly. Hint, hint, modders in chat. I wonder if these have different lengths of the framing that come up. I don't know. I don't know that they would. But we should be. Yeah, see, now we're making much more than we're actually using, which is nice. Look how fast these guys come in here. Alright, so there's one more to go there. These engines, I think I can go ahead and build a few more. Just for right now. See, that actually fits perfectly right here. That can just go right into the inside. Just keep going and going and going. That doesn't look terrible, actually, just over the top of this. And we could actually, depending on how we wanted to do this, we could even put platforms, overhangs, whatever you want to call it, over the top of these guys. And then go on top of that going the other way. Wouldn't it be better to pump out the critter with the second bypass, the one you trapped me in? Yeah, sorry about that. Then the water level wouldn't drop so much. Yes, actually. But there's, you know, there's just a lot to consider. Because this does have source blocks in it, but it all gets diverted. I don't know, we probably should optimize a lot of this, honestly. Because I want it to be 6 long. Not that it really matters. But we should have a decent pumping area here. So what if I did... Not bad. Oops. Nope, that's not going to work. That would have to go out. I could actually just blast this out, too, and have more space. What is this? 4? 5? It's 4. Okay. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and blast this out, and then we'll come by the other side and do that. And then I can just put a whole bunch of these pumps over here. Sorry if it's already a functioning game, but something I wish mods or devs would add is that bad water domes would be able to filter the bad water sources and turn them into good water. I don't think that's currently a thing in the game, but that would be interesting. Trivia, do you know why it's called Buffalo Wing Sauce? Because Frank's Deli is in Buffalo, New York, and he named the sauce after the city. Yes, that is correct. I've never been to Buffalo, but Atlanta has some very good wings. I have never had better wings than I've had here. Big water pumps we haven't unlocked. The Iron Teeth do not have the large ones that the Folktales do. This is the deep mechanical fluid pump. That's the big one with the trunk on it. But we don't have a need for that presently. Okay, this also needs to go. And I think that's going to be... Oh, they can actually still walk over here like this. All right. Yeah, we'll do all of this just like that. With the sluices now, is the flooding map more plausible even with the bad water? Flooding map as in what? I'm assuming you're referencing the sluices being one-way water valves. Like, yeah, you could flood the whole map if you wanted to. I mean, you could have done that before. It just would have taken longer and been a little bit more difficult. Imagine if beavers could be wrong about what the next cycle is. You prep for a drought, and it's so it would be like trying to do a weather forecast in the Midwest. That would be interesting. Oh, you know what would be cool is if the forecasts were inaccurate until you did scientific research to unlock the more accurate ones. See, but I don't know how much I want them to increase the difficulty of the game with stuff like that, because I think a lot of newer players might become frustrated by that. But for the veteran players, like most of us in the chat, I think that would be an interesting difficulty toggle. Heard a thing this morning that was talking about historical things that happened at the same time, like woolly mammoths walking around while the pyramids were being built. Well, I don't have any source or anything to know 100% if that actually happened, according to historians or whatever, but it's possible. The thing that really messed me up, and now I'm going to forget, of course, because that's how it works, but it was one of those things about like when certain like old historical figures would have lived, being further apart from them being alive versus some like crazy old thing. I don't, you know, now I'm going to feel stupid. All right, I'm going to look this up. As soon as you said that, I had something come to mind where I thought, oh yeah, I heard about that. And then I went to go talk about it, and then my brain shut off. And here I am, sitting here, searching something on my phone while I'm supposed to be streaming. There we go. Yeah, we'll just keep going. More and more little bits and pieces here. Okay, the woolly mammoths and the Great Pyramids is one of the things. Oh, that's an AI overview. I don't want that. I want a person writing something. Oh, here we go. Ask History. That's a very heavily moderated subreddit. Waterworld map. You roll the dice and pump up the sources. Yeah, we did that. I must have missed something up. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that's what you're talking about. With the bad tide, we would have to set rules for that if we did it again. We would have to be able to give ourselves a fair fighting chance. We would absolutely have to cap the bad tide until a certain cycle number. We would have absolutely zero chance. Cleopatra is closer to us than when the Great Pyramid was built. That's the one that I was thinking of. Yeah, it's amazing that that's the one you pulled out of nowhere, because that's exactly what I was thinking of. I think it's like people tend to divide history into segments based on their perception of when things occurred, without being like fully cognizant of just how much stuff overlaps. Now, huh? Okay, I don't believe this at all. The first wagon train of the Oregon Trail heads out the same year the fax machine is invented. I'm going to need a citation for that. Let's see. T-Rexes lived closer to the time of pharaohs than they did to the Triceratops. I have heard that. Okay, some of these are a little spicy. I'm not going to read those on stream, but... Oh. When Harvard opened, they didn't have calculus classes because calculus hadn't been invented yet. Oxford University celebrated its 200th graduating class by the time the Aztec Empire started in Central America. The last execution by guillotine occurred on September 10th, 1977. People walked on the moon before we put wheels on a suitcase. In 1922, Betty White and the Ottoman Empire both existed. Betty White is also older than sliced bread. Or, well, she's dead now, unfortunately. But so at one point, you could have said, sliced bread is the best thing since Betty White, and you would have been correct. Nintendo was founded when Jack the Ripper was roaming the streets of London. Yeah, Nintendo's been around since the 1800s, 1880s, I think. They originally made playing cards and other things. Most recently, in the last 50 years, became famous for video games, of course. William Shakespeare and Pocahontas were alive at the same time. Pablo Picasso died the same year Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon was released. The last surviving witness to the Lincoln assassination appeared on the TV game show I've Got a Secret several weeks before his death in 1954. I did see that. I saw a clip of that on the internet. That was pretty wild. Let's see. Dmitri Shostakovich, famous Russian composer, attended a performance of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Jesus Christ Superstar in London in 1975. So you always think like Shostakovich is one of those names that comes up when you think of like classical music, even though technically from the period of how music is divided, he's not a classical composer because that's not the right era, but most people are going to call anything that features woodwind, brass, and string instruments as classical, even though strictly speaking that's not true. But regardless, that's pretty cool. Samurai, the fax machine, and Abraham Lincoln all existed at the same time. Victorian England and the Wild West happened at the same time. I don't think that's that big of a stretch for people to believe. Let's see. Harriet Tubman was alive at the same time as both Thomas Jefferson and Ronald Reagan? Really? Orville Wright of the Wright brothers lived long enough to see Chuck Yeager break the sound barrier and travel on an airliner that had a wingspan equal to the distance he covered in his first flight. 37 meters, if you're curious. That's pretty cool. And that's the end of the list that I found. But I don't know, history's cool. I think a lot of people don't give it enough credit. Or they get bought into conspiracy theories or other things that make them devalue stuff like that. What can I get away with here? I think I want a double, and then I want to do one of these. And then from there I can do... Actually, I did that wrongly. Hold on. I wanted to see if I could get this to be smart. Ah, yes. I needed to do... There we go. That's what I... No, that's actually wrong. So I want it to go... okay. I don't need to get cute with it. We'll just use platforms. I thought I could make it work. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I would have had to put platforms up anyway. So not that big of a deal. So that's going to be, let's see, 1 here, 2, 3, 3.5. This will do 4. And then this will have to get exploded. We can actually do all of this all at once. Just let that go. And then these guys, of course, will have to get this exploded as well. This didn't really have to get exploded this way, I guess. But, it's fine. We'll get it figured out. Alright, now I'm behind on chat. What if the beavers could be wrong about the cycles? Okay, I feel like we just had this discussion. Am I taking crazy pills? Or are you referencing the previous discussion we had? We're on cycles like half the time until... Okay, yeah, no, this is exactly what we were talking about before. Okay. Until half... Bleh, okay, my brain stopped again. Wrong at least half the time until they build at least one water source, a dome, and then they study that to learn the next cycle. That would be cool. Wild West era was only like 20-something years. That makes sense. I know the Gold Rush period was not as long as some people think it was. And a lot of mines actually were getting stuff like silver instead. Let's see. Fax machine is old. That's such a surprise. Like, I know telegraph has existed for a really long time, since the 1800s. But fax machine, as I knew it, which was a phone connected to a scanner that you could, you know, send a piece of paper over the phone lines because you could scan it. That's all I know it, but I guess it's been around that long. Always heard it as ancient Rome is closer to us in history than ancient Romans were to the building of the pyramids. Well, that's wild. Yeah, we'll keep building this stuff out. Did they already? Wow. Okay, that was quick. Nobody step on this. So that'll go here. These will go here. Then, depending on how the straws in these line up... Okay, this one will actually be fine to get this taken out. I will need to remove the lumberjack flag and the tooth grindstone, but instead of removing them, why don't we just put those right there? Because this is going to be... Yeah, that's going to be perfectly fine to put that in the middle. I know we already have 2 here, but bear with me here. That'll work. We'll just move that. We'll move that. Get that to go away, that to go away, and then we'll get the rest of this all fixed up. And we can actually start building the pumps on this side. So how do we want to do this? We get that one, that one, that one, that one there. That'll work. Then this one, and lag this one. Get that going. And then we will need storage over here. How, 85%? Okay. I will unplant that, and then I will put in... Do I have... Oh, I don't have a staircase going down here. Okay. Well... I was thinking maybe I should just blast this all the way down. We don't need to worry about it. Not going to be that big of a deal. I will just build these overhangs here. And then on top of that, once this tree is gone, we will go ahead and put a large doohickey. That is the scientific term. Yeah, Nintendo's history is wild. That was an eye-opening educational experience for me, for sure, learning about that. The last U.S. Civil War widow's pension was still being given out after 9/11. I remember hearing about that. I guess the guy was super old and married super young. And this goes to show you, man, like, stuff that happened in the past that people was like, oh, that was super long. It really wasn't. It really wasn't that long ago. It helps keep things in perspective. The original fax machine, the electric printing telegraph, was patented in 1843. That is nuts. John Tyler, the 10th president, was born before Washington became president and still has a grandson. Really? That's nuts. That's like truly insane. That's another thing. I think a lot of, I say us as Americans, I know a lot of you aren't, but a lot of people don't realize, like, oh, the U.S. is old. Like, no, there's people in Europe who have houses older than the United States that they still live in. Like, no, this country is not old. Bomb out areas for the water pump straw. We could if we wanted to go down there, but honestly, I think this is fine. This is already 4 segments. This is not going to be pumped dry. But they can leave that alone 88%. Yeah, we got 8, what do you call them? Bots? 9 now, actually, that need to be taken care of. Let's start automating the food factories, because they do have some stuff over here that can do. Oh, good, it's a bad tide. Is this at 1% still? Man, how much more stuff are they going to pull out of this? Is it still, like, if they're in here pumping and it's not going up, then... Well, this guy isn't. This is... Yeah, it's still getting bad water. That's wild. Said post 9/11 for the last Civil War widow pension was summer 2020. Are you serious? Wow. It's like trying to think math-wise. That's 2020 was 100 and... Yeesh, it was 160 years. Ish, 155, 156, whatever it was, years after the Civil War was done. So she, oh man, that's kind of terrifying actually. She must have got married when she was like 15 to like a 90-year-old dude. That's weird. Americans think 100 years is a long time, but Europeans think 100 miles is a long way. Yep. It's wild. Like I know people in Europe who will say like, oh, I would go see XYZ or see this person, but they live 2 hours away. That's too far to drive. Like I drive 2 hours for a one-day thing, regularly. I drove like 70 miles just today, and I didn't leave my town. Like, it's wild, the discrepancy between like relative distance and time. Driving Seattle to Miami is 50 miles further than the driving from London to Baghdad. That I did not know. Talking trains, I guess we are now. We need to make sure that we're actually still doing stuff, or some people are going to get irritated. So we are going to continue automating our food production here until I don't have any bots that are not employed. Yeah, just get those done, and then we have to get these guys going as well as soon as we have enough bots. Alright, so that's working. Do we have progress being made here? Yes. So this, 92% to get the wood. We'll wait for that to get demolished, but this is ready to go. Here we can keep expanding this way if we feel like it. That's 8 pumps. I am going to start decommissioning pumps over here. I think this probably should be okay. Choo Choo mod I don't think is updated for update 6 yet, and I don't know when it will be. When I was doing, well, I still am, but Earlier on, when I was doing sports photography, I would drive at least once or twice a year, 4 hours one way to photograph a football game and 4 hours one way back the same day. But now, if we're going that distance, if I'm traveling with anybody, we'll just get a hotel. Yeah, the Choo Choo mod's awesome, but it is it's very complex, and there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong with it. As we learned in Update 5, so it is unfortunately not working currently. I know there was a passenger function that did technically work, but it was really glitchy, and it would just teleport beavers randomly to different stations. So you couldn't use it the same way that you could use the freight stuff and set an input-output. It would just, they just get on the train and get off at another station. But we'll get this going here, I believe. Engine-wise, yeah, I'm going to have this here. And then whatever I did this way would do the same thing. Like that. I think I can actually build all of these at the same time, provided the beavers aren't stupid. Put a charger here as well. And of course the backside we haven't done anything yet with, but we'll get there. Alright, so that can go... How close are we to having another bot? 9% and 48. Okay, so we'll leave that alone for a little bit of time. 36 unemployed beavers. Well, the whole point behind having all these many beavers is so we could have stuff for them to do. Just because they aren't working doesn't mean they don't have value to us. The main goal I had with the breeding pods was to fill up the housing that we have, and we have. So we don't need to pause them, we just need to give them stuff to do. Even if it's not jobs, they should have access to recreational things. Like we've got the wind tunnels, exercise plazas and stuff. I just don't know where I'm putting those quite yet. Got to figure that out. Not quite sure. I think we probably should get this out of here because there's nothing in here. The water pumping definitely needs to be improved. It's 96%. Prioritize by haulers. Might as well click that on all of these. Probably could have done that on the menu, but you know how it goes. There we go. 2 hours to get somewhere in your city. It's crazy. Yeah, well, the problem... Okay, here we go talking about urbanism and the Timberborn playthrough again. But the problem with a lot of the U.S. is that it is inherently designed around the automobile, and as a result we have suburban sprawl. Like the metro Atlanta area technically encompasses like what, 9 or 10 or 11 different counties and 6 million people, but to drive from one end to the other, I think in some areas you could drive 3 hours and still be from one end to the other and still be in the metro area. Whereas, like say for example, the city of Tokyo has, I believe, the largest metro population of anywhere on Earth, but geographically is smaller than pretty much any other, any major U.S. city in terms of the boundaries. But Tokyo is also incredibly dense, and they have public transit that works and goes like every 30 seconds on some of the trains. Meanwhile, nowhere in the U.S. has that. Not at all. All right. So we are actually making pretty good progress on this stuff. They're just working. This is already automated. We'll continue on that. I should have another one coming soon. 96%. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Bad tide time. So we should still have all of this power being generated. I did want to see the next time we had a bad tide just how far out the tendrils reached. We should... wait, is there even anything over here? No, there's not. Okay. So that is going to give me the idea of why don't we... Come on, lag. Why don't we put our irrigation barriers underneath these three? That will help, at the very least, keep some of the pollution out of here. Because it is currently, once this gets fully contaminated, I'm pretty sure it reaches to about here. And then over here it reaches a little bit too. 35 million in Tokyo. Yeah, there's that many people in the entire state of California. I think Metro LA is... Well, California might be more than 35 million now, but Metro LA, I think, is like 10 million or something. Yeah, Los Angeles, you can drive from one side to the other. It'll take you 3 hours. Yeah, you could... It'd take you 3 hours to drive the length of the 60 freeway. And by the length of that, I mean just from one side of the Inland Empire to the other. Average Shinkansen late time over an entire year is 1 second. Well, they're also really, really strict about that, and well, I know there's different things that have happened to improve the business culture of things like that, but that actually led to a pretty terrible, fatal train accident in Japan at one time because the guy was afraid he was going to be sent to like a re-education thing where they basically just abuse you emotionally for a month and you get your pay docked. So he was driving the train fast. It went around a curve and it hit an apartment building and a whole bunch of people died. Is it JR East or JR West? I can't remember. But there is a memorial, and their website, to this day, this happened like 19 years ago, to this day they have a page on their website still talking about how much of a mistake it was for them to do that, and they're not going to do it again. Frame rate starting to suffer. No, it's holding steady at about 60. It is definitely the GPU. I am right now, including streaming, at 1.5% CPU usage. But my GPU is a 2070 Super that is 4.5 years old, so probably should get something else at some point. But I would like to use my hardware as long as I can before I upgrade it because it is very expensive to build a new computer. This, you know, even I put this in here and it's still going all the way out. I'm going to, let's see. All right, let's pause because I need to try and do something about this. So I know it's coming in this way right here. If I do irrigation barriers here, that should help a little bit at the very least. This is all. I have these things here, and I know it's going to be a. I know it's going to be a problem. I really shouldn't be worried about it this much, but yeah, okay, you know, it's going to be a waste of time to do this. I was going to get the power shafts moved slightly so I could put another one of these barriers here, but I don't think that is conducive to us using our time effectively. Metro Atlanta is 8,376 square miles. Switzerland is 15,490. Yeah, I'm telling you, suburban sprawl in the U.S. is an epidemic. Can the bars be in the river? Bars meaning what? Are you talking about the irrigation barriers? Because no, if they're underwater, they won't work. It only prevents stuff from going past on ground level. If the liquid is above them, they can't do anything. Los Angeles is 3.9. Is that city of, or is that the entire metro? Because Los Angeles is not dense, but it is very big. Modern Shinkansen has safeguards for all of that. Well, that's good to know. I know the Shinkansen has very, very advanced safety features, especially for stuff like earthquakes. So they can do like emergency stops really, really quickly, pretty much anywhere on the network. If they have like advanced earthquake detection go off, they can just immediately stop all the trains, which is incredibly cool. I would pay the $40 extra to take Shinkansen from to Tokyo instead of flying there. I would too. I very heavily am contemplating, when I can afford it, flying to Japan just to take trains. I'm not kidding. It's just cool, man. You have a country that actually embraces public transit and good rail transit to the way Japan does. Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington have all merged. Isn't that... It's called like the Texas Triangle, I think. And they're trying... I say... excuse me. I say... Foghorn Leghorn was an underrated character in 60s cartoons. No logs. You are correct, because we've used a lot of them to build stuff. But we have so many trees planted, I don't think it's an issue. We just kind of overbuilt our capacity for a little bit. But Central Texas, there is a group trying to build high-speed rail in the Texas Triangle, and a bunch of people are fighting it because they don't want to give up their land for it. But in theory, you can connect those 3 cities with high-speed rail and massively, massively benefit the entire area, because anyone who lives there is going to tell you, until they're blue in the face, the traffic is terrible. It is horrendous. LA County's 12 million. See, that's what I thought. I knew it was a lot of people. What are your thoughts on Hyperloop? Boondoggle. Completely unnecessary. Huge waste of money. Especially the way it's being sold as an alternative to public trains. Like, no, it's not. He's grifting. It's a cool theory, but, you know, it's not really a sustainable thing to be building at that scale. We need to put irrigation barriers in here. They fight it because they think if there's trains, they'd be forced to give up their pickups. Well, that's just nonsense. You're never going to get people to give up their pickup trucks. Nor should they have to. I just want there to be options for people when it comes to stuff like doing mass transit. Like, no one's telling you you can't drive a car. And if they are, they're stupid. Just give people options. If you want to take the train, there should be a train available for you to take at a decent price. But nobody should be told that you can't do this. Yeah, there's always going to be, if somebody has too much money, they're always going to do some stupid nonsense to try and get notoriety or put their name in history books or whatever. And most of the time, it's just either rehashing an old idea, or it's just such a stupid idea that no one should ever pay any attention to them. Wait, how are they? Oh, they're building this from below. Okay. Yeah, another issue with the way that the United States has approached development is that since everything was built around the car, people have no idea that it can be a lot better if you have other options, and a lot of places do have better options. If you don't own a car, in 99% of the US, you don't own a car, you cannot exist. It is almost impossible. Having done an archaeological dig in a city that has been inhabited since the time of the Trojan War, I find it cute when London and Paris like to talk about how old they are. Are you talking about, because I know in Rome, when they're doing some sort of subway expansion in Rome, and it's taken like 40 years because every time they do excavation, they find artifacts and they have to stop so they can dig other stuff up. From where I lived in Virginia, it would take you 4 to 5 hours to get to D.C. Now they have a train that runs from Lynchburg, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that takes less than 2 hours. Yes, the Northeast in the United States is the closest the U.S. has to reliable and usable rail transit. But it's not perfect. Definitely not. I took slow Amtrak, not the fast one. The Crescent between Atlanta and Baltimore a couple months back, and we stopped in Lynchburg and we stopped in D.C., but I'm pretty sure Lynchburg to D.C. on our train might have been, it could have been 4 or 5 hours. 4, 5, and 6. Oh, you might have even been talking about the same exact train. I can't read. But now I know the Northeast Regional will travel on that same track, and it's a lot faster. And of course, the Acela between D.C. and Boston, I think, can do that whole trip a lot quicker. But it doesn't go to Lynchburg. I think that's how they found Nero's palace. I would not be surprised. Oh, you know what we can do? We can blast this whole thing down. Here, we just have to get these guys... Oh, excuse me, going up. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing this. This has to go down to... I think what I'm going to have to do is bring this up here. And then just blast this center bit out. Blast this out. And then take the stairs out and do the rest. Because I know I can get this bit without doing too much extra, but it's this lag. It's this back here that's going to be the problem to deal with. But this will be flat, and we can plant probably a bunch more trees. We might have to do irrigation somewhere over here. But this is a nice little project for them to sink their teeth into for a little bit. Let's do some more changing of the guard, as it were. lovely squelching noises. Over here. Get that done. So food-wise, pretty much all of our production, with the exception of the coffee, should be automated. Which I will go ahead and do here. Now let's check. Alright, so we've got... Coffee breweries are automated. The farmhouses are not yet. Fermenters are all done. The food factories are all done. Hydroponic gardens have not been automated yet. But the lumber mills are done. Inventors cannot be. Oil presses are done. Smelters are done. Yeah, you know, we're actually doing pretty well. We'll just have to keep our eye on other stuff as it comes up. And let them build all this stuff. What worried me driving the interstates recently is the car maintenance is declining due to the increase in costs. I might die someday because of someone else driving a hoopty at 85 miles an hour. It is so dangerous to drive in this country. I'm sure the rest of the world is bad too, but if you're to use my local environment as an example, you can be driving in Atlanta. We have a ring road. The interstate that goes around the city is a bypass called I-285. The speed limit up until like 2 years ago was 55 miles per hour. I would drive on there regularly at, legally speaking, and not going to tell you the speed, but faster than 55. And people would pass me so fast it would make my car shake. Like they would probably be going at least 120 miles an hour. And it was always a Nissan Altima with like 4 different color body panels. And the headlights were off. It's like, why? What are you doing that has to be so fast like that? There's no reason for it. You're going to kill somebody. And people don't maintain their cars. Like, they catch on fire constantly. Large water tank can be built. Oh, you are correct. Let's do that. I am trying, folks. I am trying very hard to actually continue playing the game while we have these side conversations. We're working on it. We're working on it. Oh, no, they can actually do this because they can reach through here, I think. I keep forgetting I can put the paths in. And then all I will have to do is blast this one down after the stairs are gone. Which peach tree is that? Huh? There's so many peach trees. Athens, Greece has been continually inhabited for at least 5,000 years, and it's not that old compared to others like Damascus. Yep. Plenty of Americans still don't understand roundabouts. Tell me about it, dude. I don't know what's... I truthfully, I do not understand what is so hard about just keep going and don't let somebody from the left hit you. You don't have to stop unless someone is currently in the way of your car entering the roundabout. It's just... It blows my mind how dumb people are. We all had to take tests on this. In 2005, I took a test that had roundabout instructions on it. There was not a single roundabout anywhere near me. And I know people who've had their license less time than me, who have existed in a world with roundabouts, who cannot drive through. Look, it's a circle. What do I do? Just keep going. It's the easiest possible thing. You don't have to stop. You don't have to think about it. Just keep going. If there is a car in the way, don't go. If there is not a car, go. That's it. It's a simple concept. The Sphinx was carved 10,000 years ago. Yeah, the scale of stuff that had, like, time scale in the Middle East is just insane. Roy, I'm not sure I follow what you're trying to get there, buddy. Implying people have common sense? Well, if it's common, then more people should have it, but I guess not. I don't know, some people just, I don't know, you ever meet some... I'm going to try to be nice. I really should try to be nice. But you ever meet some people and think, like, you know, there's not enough chlorine in this gene pool. There just isn't. Could have sworn I checked for a stream earlier. You probably did, but I didn't find out when I was going to be able to start until basically when I got home. So I didn't want to say, hey, we're going to stream at 7 o'clock, and then I wasn't home at 7. I don't want to waste people's time. Have you ever heard of the land grab? Oh, like when the people first came over from Europe? Yeah. There's all sorts of different things that happen that way. They had to put one-way signs on a roundabout where I live so people would stop going backwards. Oh, brother. Oh, God. You ever seen those videos of, like, when they install roundabouts and people have their dash cams going, they drive through them, and they see how, like, people don't understand how they work? Or, like, the truck drivers who just drive right over the middle of it. And to be fair, some of them are designed to do that. They're called mountable curbs or something. But, you know, some people are just... Like, you look at what they do and you just think to yourself, how do you remember how to put your socks on? Like, why? Why are you like this? Yeah, roundabouts are great. Obviously, it's not a perfect solution to everything, but take a look. There's a town in Indiana called Carmel that has, to my knowledge, replaced all of their traffic lights with roundabouts. They've got hundreds of them in the city. Now, it's by no means... Look at all the dynamite just going instantly like that. It's by no means like an urbanist paradise at all, but they've managed to solve a lot of traffic problems, and more importantly, they've reduced the number of traffic fatalities. Because that's the deadliest thing you're ever going to do in a car is go through an intersection where the other way has a red light. Because if someone runs it and hits you at 50 miles an hour, it's very hard to survive. But if you're in a roundabout and everyone's going 25 miles an hour, you're probably not going to get killed in an accident. It's just a matter of like basic respect and human decency to, you know, just act in a way that isn't going to kill somebody else. Oh, I didn't attach the bottom of the stairs. There we go. That's why they couldn't do the end. We need more bots. Yes, we do. But I think we are out of... Wait, no, we're not. So I wonder why the bots stopped. We only have 61. Maybe it's just... Okay, no, they're going. But I did give them a pretty big deficit to claw back from in terms of available bots versus jobs. Farron, thanks for the 2. I appreciate you. Was in Portland, Oregon, saw a car dive across 5 lanes on a bridge to get to his exit. Yep. Happens all the time in cities. There is a part of the freeway in Atlanta. Hold on, I need to get this out. But when they built Interstate 75 and Interstate 85 going through downtown in I think the middle of the last century, 1950s maybe, they rerouted it to go around the downtown, and there's a hospital there named Grady Memorial Hospital. It's called the Grady Curve. That whole area around there where it goes right before it intersects Interstate 20. It's a huge mess. Incredible huge mess. I would have to drive through there all the time. And I swear to you, like, at least once every week, I would almost get hit by somebody going through that whole area. Because it's like 5 lanes wide in one direction, plus the slip lanes and everything else. I don't need the stairs here. But it's like every single week I would see people just recklessly driving all the way across lanes of traffic, no signal or anything. They're just going super, super fast. Like, you're going to kill somebody, dude. Like, you can't drive like this. It's incredibly unsafe. Like, one time I was driving, a car swerved in front of me, like, just right in front of the car, and then smacked into the median, and then just, like, did a somersault in the left lane. Like, okay, it's time for me to leave. Like, I can't do this. Someone's going to get killed doing this. Port St. Lucie built a huge suburban infrastructure in 2006 with tons of roundabouts. Problem was that the whole community is filled with people 70 plus years old. All right, I should specify, not everyone of a certain age is automatically going to be a bad driver. I know plenty of people that old or older who are very good drivers, have their faculties about them perfectly fine, but there sure are a lot of people who cannot drive. Right, exactly. Roundabouts just make sense. Fantastic traffic engineering. Don't forget to mark the new trees for cutting. Yep, we can do that. I feel like we should start doing city skyline streams again, because then it would actually be on-topic discussion for once. Yeah, let's get this moved out, and then we can plant a couple more trees here. We're still super behind on logs, but it'll get fixed eventually. Yeah, in the U.S., driving laws and licensing is controlled state by state, so that's why there's so many discrepancies with things. Technically, driving doesn't have anything to do with age, good or bad, young or old. Everyone's going to have an accident. It's all in if you cause it or not. Yeah, statistically speaking, everyone is going to be involved in an accident at some point, at least once. Just be smart. Know your limits. If you're tired, don't drive. If you're uncomfortable driving in a densely populated area, don't drive. Just figure out ways to just be a responsible human being. Like, truthfully, most of the time, it's not that hard. But some people just choose not to exercise common sense. Yeah, well, part of the problem with like the "I'm old, I don't know how to do this" excuse is literally just too bad. Like, stuff happens, life moves on. You're just gonna have to adapt to it. I would much rather be inconvenienced by driving more slowly in an area that has roundabouts if I knew that it was going to save people's lives, which they do. It sometimes might cause more accidents because people don't understand what's going on. But if you're driving slower and you hit somebody else, it is much less likely that someone gets injured or killed. Public transit, yes. That is the other thing, is that the low-density areas, it just doesn't make sense to have public transport because it's not financially viable, which is a different discussion entirely about whether public transit should make money or if it should be run at a loss as a public service. People are going to disagree about that. And that's political stuff we don't really need or want to get into, but I just think people should have options, especially as you get older. You don't need or want to be driving everywhere, but if you had a reliable bus service that was clean and safe and everything was well kept, and you could use it to, go to the grocery store or go senior center or whatever, and you didn't have to drive by yourself on busy roads when maybe you're not comfortable doing it, then you'd be probably much healthier and happier for it. Well, the cars and the trucks, a bigger thing, is kind of a multifaceted issue. We got to make sure I'm actually continuing to do this here. What do we want to do next? Centrifuges, most of those are still paused. Let's see. These are the pumps. I don't want to do those quite yet. I don't think I have distributed power in enough places to do builders or haulers yet. But see, the food stuff's pretty much all done. Foresters, I'm not worried about. Gear workshops are done. Hauling posts, I just said we maybe don't want to do yet. This lumber mill is not... Oh, okay, we can do that. That's an easy one. Inventors we can't do. Lumberjack flags I'm not worried about. Oil presses are done. Smelters are done. Those weren't prioritized. Wood workshops are over here. Two of them are over here. Where's the third one? Oh, okay, that's not going to be there forever. 18 builders huts. We don't need 18 of those. But I just thought it would be cool. I guess we probably should go ahead and start doing haulers first as bots. We're going to need more of these charging stations. So what that probably is going to mean is that we need to have an engine with those chargers put somewhere. Let's see. We got these guys right here. We have this engine also powering this stuff. Demand on this is 725. This large power wheel needs to be replaced with an engine for sure. So we'll go ahead and pop that in. I already have some chargers here, so we might be able to get away with putting... Oh, no, you know what? We should do the mine. We should do the mine as a workplace for bots. That would be good. Because this is a very injury-prone thing. And ideally, because we have all this space here, they would not need to go super far out of the way. This is for the treated planks. This is for the... Yeah, we just need to have more scrap metal being utilized. But this is set to be supplied. Do I have storage? I can't remember. Do I have any storage over here for this? Yeah, it's full. I just need to use more of my metal. I need to have more storage for all this stuff. So I did this. Do I have 5x1s? How do I want to do this? I guess I don't really need to worry about it that much because this is already all taken care of. Maybe I just need to have giant storage for a bunch of this metal stuff. But where am I going to put it is the question. This right here has the smelters. I don't want to take farmable land for storage, but I'm also not really using this land to farm on. I don't think that's an issue. I don't know, maybe we just don't need to worry about it. Maybe I just need to suck it up and start putting these beavers, the bots rather, into the hauling posts. I just need to make sure I have good charging, which I do not over here. I do not have good charging. I need to do that. I've got one. I've got one here. So I know these guys are running all over the place trying to get charged. This is really not set up very smartly for this, but that's oh, that's not going to work. I know I can do that. That's got to be worth something at least, right? 4x1s. Why not? Why not, right? Just pop this in here. I know I can put 2 of these charging stations here. Because these guys are going to make use of that, I'm sure. Zoning laws about how much parking space a business should have should be adjusted. In some cases, the car park is never full, including for Black Friday. Yeah, that is a very common discussion in urban planning communities. But again, it's based around the mindset that someone who is driving to a place to do business is going to have a fit if they can't park right next to the door. And people tell me this all the time. There's no parking. There's plenty of parking. You just have to walk somewhere. But people don't want to do that. So they have to design these giant parking lots. Let's make this for bots. Because they have access to the chargers right here. And then at some point we're going to need to put some up here too. I just don't know exactly where that's going to go. Trader Joe's in the US is infamous for having very small parking lots. But the reality is they're actually pretty correctly sized to the size of the store and the amount of traffic they get. It's just always full. But people see the full parking lot and think, oh, this is a disaster. There's nowhere to park. No, the parking lot's the correct size because it's always full. It's utilizing the space effectively. But people get spoiled by the idea of not having to walk anywhere. Where in the rest of the world, you're probably going to walk all over the place. People are healthier outside of the U.S. because they end up actually walking more. Are the oaks to the right of the mine selected for cutting? They should be. Yeah, they are. These we're using for the resin, so those aren't marked, but everything over here is. It's actually working pretty well. How's the path deletion on the floors? It works. I did it earlier before we built all of this stuff in here. I guess I could demonstrate with this now, but they finally added that. I was so happy to see it. So now you can select either or. I'm obviously not going to delete these, but now, before when you drag these, it would select everything, but you let go, it just has the paths. And it works perfectly. It's great. Finally made it to alive. Good to see you. The only time I don't mind walking in a parking lot is when it's hot out. Yeah. It's, that's the other thing too. Like, you have these giant parking lots. It's just a sea of asphalt. You're going to have so much heat absorption. It's miserable. But if you have trees planted and you have grass, you have all these different spaces that can absorb and channel heat somewhere else or shield you from it. It's so much better than just having acres and acres of asphalt. Trader Joe's is owned by Aldi. One of the Aldis. There's 2. Translates to Aldi North, Aldi South. They're actually like, they had like a splinter like faction thing sometime in the last century. I just want the general populace to quit using handicap spaces as personal convenience. You and me both. It irritates me to no end. Like, the handicap space is there to aid people who need it, not for your convenience. That is incredibly selfish when people do that. Let's see. 34,000. These are all good. These gravity batteries are. I want to build more, but I do not know where we can realistically put them. Because this has this coming in through the middle here. I don't have space on this side. I guess we'll see what happens. Probably should go ahead and put in over here, find a place for an engine and a bunch of those charging stations. If we can figure that out. This is pretty tightly packed, so I'm not sure there's a great spot for it. Solar panels over the parking lots? Yeah, that's a great idea. I wish more places would do it. Because then you can power the building, or you can power, you know, you got the electric car chargers or whatever, just put it back in the grid. And you shield the pavement, so it doesn't retain heat. And you shield the cars, so they don't get as hot, and if it rains, they don't get as wet. It just seems like a fantastic idea. It's expensive, which is probably 90% of the reason people don't do it, but It just makes sense. Oh, okay, that's talking about Aldi, I'm assuming. The brothers owned it. One wanted to sell cigarettes, the other didn't, so they decided north and south. Makes sense. Hammerby says, the U.S. should adopt the Finnish model for fines, which is based on income and wealth. That would be a deeply unpopular political move, and no one's going to do it. But there is precedence to that. Because, like, think about it. If you are a poor person, and you make X amount of dollars per year, low amount of money, and you have to pay say a $50 parking ticket, that sucks. That's like gas money for, well, not a week anymore, but that's like gas money, or that's groceries for a week for one person or something. But if you're making like a couple $1,000,000 a year, that's just chump change. You wouldn't pick a 50 up off the ground. But they still pay the same fine, if they even have to pay one. Oh, that's always kind of bothered me. But this is not a political philosophy channel. We're playing Timberborn. I know a lot of people tend to get upset when people disagree with them. So that is not my intention. any of these discussions we ever have, I'm not trying to make people mad. That is never something I want to do. Let's blast this down a little bit. And I think I can put in a bot charging station over here. Walkie-talkie building in London managed to cause cars to melt because of how reflective the glass was. Wasn't it also because of like the way the glass was positioned and how it was curved or something? I remember seeing something about that. It's pretty crazy. Build a 5x5 platform or a few and place new batteries on them and connect them to the rest of the network. We could do that. Oh, you know what would be cool? The 5x5 platforms actually would be almost the perfect size to put an engine in the middle and then have the chargers around it, but I just remembered there would have to be a pathway around that, so it would really need to be 7x7. But yeah, 5x5 you could fit 8 gravity batteries, I'm pretty sure, around the outside, and then nothing in the middle. Who's liable for that? If the building melts my car, I don't think my insurance... The insurance doesn't want to pay it out anyway. I don't think it really matters. They're going to do anything they can to avoid paying you. But I would imagine you would have to hire a pretty powerful lawyer to get the owner of the building to pay out on that. Hotel building that did the same to a pool in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a city that should not exist. From the standpoint of, like, you know, building a giant city with a bunch of water features and grass and golf courses in the middle of a desert and taking water from the Colorado River where there's like 4 states in incredible legal battles over the right to use it. I don't know, man. Maybe don't build a giant, like, casino palace city in the middle of the desert. Go after the architect? Good luck. It melted the bathers. That doesn't sound pleasant. Imagine, just you're going for a swim and then you just get melted. Embarrassing. Oh man. I'm gonna try to knock I guess just this whole thing down. Just mark all of this just to see what ends up happening here. Alright, I need to put a path here. And once this starts getting blasted down, we're going to have to get more guys up here to take care of that. But I do think we can go ahead and... Oh, bad tide again. We can go ahead and start moving these inventors somewhere else. We have 39,000 science. I mean, I don't know how much more we have to unlock that we're actually going to use. The most expensive buildings to automate, we've already unlocked. The 12,000 for the tribute to ingenuity, 20,000 for... Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and unlock both of these. I know we're going to need... Oh, we're not going to build this yet, but I know we can spend the science with our control towers, and we're going to have a lot of production to keep up with, maybe a dozen or so of those, but we're not using those right now. So I kind of think we should move these out of the way and keep having more hydroponic gardens. Because we have enough mushrooms for the time being, but we don't have enough algae. We could still stand to have a couple more of those. Yep, we do need science forever. It's just a very, very slow process. Very slow process. Oh, really? They didn't build this? Alright. I'll just go ahead and set this off because I can. I'll be able to access more of this. And I wonder, should I... See, I can go... How far over should I go on this? I mean, I guess I could use this space right here to my advantage. This 3x3 would be here. So this would actually end up being a path all the way around the outside. Kind of, I think. Charging station here, 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 and here, and the entrance to the engine would be here. And I think it can only support 8 anyway, so, you know, maybe we don't put any around the back. Maybe we'll just do 3 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 3 here. That'll be 7. That'll be pretty close. How's the contamination level in the body of water? I was just thinking about that. Still says 1%. I think it's one of those things where it's like the law of diminishing returns. Like, it's so low that it's not 0, but it's still present enough to read, but the volume of water is so huge that it's going to take a really long time to get it all out. If you place the engine in the center of an edge of a 5x5 platform, you can place 4 charges on each side, which is max each engine can support at full power. I'm pretty sure the chargers only take 50. Yeah, they take 50, and the engine will put out 400, so that's 8. Alright. So this is rapidly progressing here. I am going to go ahead and set this off by itself so we can start building there. Yeah, I'll get this out of here. I just need this one to be done so I can put the engine in. And then this will, of course, need to be... You know what? We'll be fancy. And we'll just go around like this. Is that too tall? No. Then that'll get done like so. Now hurry up and put this thing in. I specifically prioritized it just so I could get this one square out without detonating everything else. They're probably not going to listen to me, though. They never do. The beavers don't care about me. Four times 3 sides is 12. It is. I'm not putting them on... well, there wouldn't be 4 on a side anyway. The engine's 3x3. Ugh, man, now this is... Alright. Well, we'll just blow it up anyway. Why not? I can just move the stairs. Not a big deal. It just gets a little irritating to constantly move stuff. There we go. Connect this. Now, you'll see what I'm talking about in a second when I put this in. So that will go there. Oh, that's why. That's why we can't do this. Okay. I lied. They can't power this. They have to be on the 3 sides. It would be 9 if we did all 3 sides that are powered and have everything occupied. I'm just going to put 8. Or honestly, I might even just put 6. I don't know, I just wanted to have something available here to where they could, you know, actually use it without having to worry about whatever. But now this is set up here. I'm just gonna do this. Why not? Right? I'll build that. And then once that's done, we can start automating these guys. And then this is actually put in perfectly to put in 2 more of these down on the bottom and then stack stuff on top. These guys can move. Let's check again. Yeah, it's still going up. So we might as well just let them keep going. I will go ahead and try to get a little bit more squeezed out. Put 2 more of those in. Four charges on each side of the engine on the platform, 8 total. Okay, you say each side. I see this is a 4-sided object. And it has power output on 3 sides. So when you say each side, I'm thinking it's completely surrounded. But the problem with using the platform for that is this is 5 wide right here, so you'd have to build stuff around the outside anyway. So there's not really that much of a benefit to doing that. So what do I want to do with these? Maybe I shouldn't get rid of these just quite yet. Do I even have a bad water storage over here? I don't know that I do. Prioritize haulers on the... Oh, absolutely, yeah. For sure. Now we're just waiting on the explosives. Oh, we're out. We're out of dynamite, really? Okay, we do still have one that's working. I guess I could turn this other one on. Bad tide start. Oh, it's 11:22. I'm going to have to get off of this soon. Demolish a stream gauge and rebuild it? Instead of doing that, I'll build a second one somewhere else. Let's say right here. And then I don't have access to really anywhere else, but I can put one here. They can... Oh, no, they have a staircase there, but I am interested to see if it reads different. I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure it will read the same anywhere inside the same body of water because everything just moves. But I would be very interested. Okay, so this one said 1. Still says 1. This one still says 1. This one says 1. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to always read the same thing. 24-hour stream? Absolutely not. I would die. I also have other things I have to do that are not beavers. I did consider at one point thinking about doing a charity stream where I would match donations that people would send in, and I would try to do some sort of endurance thing, but I don't really have money to be matching donations right now. I would like to do that at some point, though. Identify maybe a couple of actual good charities that don't just waste money on advertising, and try to do a marathon thing. You're not going to get a hot tub stream. Sorry. No, you should never regret trying something. In a game, you should always regret trying bad choices in real life, because that's how we learn. But if there's something you want to try in the game, we'll do it. Like, there's no reason not to. That's how we learn. For me to do a 24-hour stream, would have to have a shock collar around my neck. Hey, I got one in the basement. You want me to build? Oh, no. No, I think it would be fun. I mean, obviously, it's very, very, very hard, especially once you're not, like 18 and you have infinite energy. It's very hard to do something like that. But I had a couple friends in high school who, well, we didn't do it when we were in high school because Switch didn't exist when I was in high school. But they did charity streams. I think it was for like a mental health foundation or something. They did like 24 hours, just had people rotating in and out. They didn't raise a ton of money because it's just, just like small time stuff. But every little bit of stuff makes a difference, and I think people appreciate that. Not all I have to work in 8 hours to get some good rest, and I'm glad you're able to spend some time with us. Timberborn hot tub mod. You don't need a mod for it. They got one. They got the mud bath. I don't know if it's hot mud, but it is mud. I also need to get off of here in a little bit, but I do want to try and get more of this operating prioritized by haulers, get that going. This is ready here. We just have to wait on the dynamite itself to get made. I will go ahead and set this off, just so that's taken care of. Is this still at 1%? Yep. And they don't seem to have any problem getting the bad water out. It's just probably going to take forever. Is the Iron Teeth or Folktales to get the 3x3 mud bath? It's the Folktales that's the new one for Update 6. They get the... I don't think they call it a bath. I think they call it like a pit. Is this one... Yeah, this one's the mud bath. This is 2x2. But the Folktales one's 3x3 and does not require power. Been a fire series. I appreciate that. We are going to try and do another stream on Saturday. I haven't decided if it's going to be afternoon or evening yet, but I'm trying to do 2 or 3 streams of this per week until we're done, and then we'll do another Timberborn live stream. Sunday is probably going to be satisfactory. But I also want to do Roller Coaster Tycoon at some point. Just got home from work. Glad to catch a little bit of your stream. Glad to have you here. We're not going to be going too much longer because I do have to go to bed because I have to go to the office tomorrow. But we will get a little bit more stuff done, and then we'll say goodbye. I just want to get something accomplished. So we'll put in some more of these hydroponic gardens. And then this can become algae. This entire bottom thing should be algae, honestly. So maybe I'll do that and change this top one to... Well, we don't need more mushrooms. We're okay on mushrooms. In fact, see, these are all mushrooms. This bottom is all algae. This top is algae. These probably should also be algae. In fact, I'm going to turn all these over to algae. See what happens. Because I'm pretty sure we looked at the recipe for this on the food factories. Yeah. The algae makes 6 portions when turned into a ration, and then the mushrooms expand by 4 times. So the algae is actually much more efficient from the perspective of one raw material turned into X amount of finished product. But the algae does take a lot longer to grow. It takes 288 hours. This one is waiting. Is anyone bringing that over here? Can I set this off? Yes. There we go. So that will allow me to at least start building hydroponic gardens like so, and all, you know, I'm just gonna do all these with algae. Make it nice and easy. Minesweeper. Hey, if you guys want a Minesweeper stream, we'll do one. I don't think it's that interesting. Roller Coaster Tycoon is one of my favorite games. I just never had a chance to do it on stream. That would not be a YouTube thing, though. That would absolutely just decimate my reach on the algorithm. It has to be City Builders. But I know I keep saying it forever. Twitch. It's got to be a Twitch thing. Roller Coaster Tycoon I could get away with doing here. Because it's close enough, I think it wouldn't punish me for that. But the rest of it, no, probably not. Alright, so I want to get this all operating. So this will be 12 hydroponic gardens for the algae and 6 for the mushrooms. That should sustain us. We'll see if this keeps going down at all. Because right now it's pegged all the way at the very top. Oh, here's another one. Bloons Tower Defense. Bloons Tower Defense 6 is on sale on Steam right now, or it was yesterday. I don't know if it still is. But it was like $4 or something, so I picked it up. I don't know if that's something you guys would want to see. Just, you know, you build the towers and it pops, the monkeys throw darts at balloons. It's one of those Flash games that was a thing 20 years ago, and they just kept making them. And now it's a game you can actually buy. I always thought it was fun. That could be a neat thing to do. Transport Tycoon streams are a soft spot for me, but the numbers... Yeah. We did a game called Sweet Transit last summer maybe. And I had a lot of fun with that, but you know, people didn't watch it. Relative to Timberborn. The numbers we get on the Beaver stuff is just insane. But people, yeah, we talked about this last time, but people really did not like the Anno 1800 videos. I loved that game. I thought it was great fun, but people hated that game. They hated watching the Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. They did not care about the penguins very much. The people who watch the penguins really love the penguins, and I really love the penguins, so we're keeping doing that one. But the numbers on it are atrocious. YouTube is just like, why are you putting this out here? It's performing terribly, like, because it's fun. I'm not doing this to get views on videos. I'm doing it because it's a good time and people like them. But it sure is nice when they perform well. But I've got, I believe we talked about this last time too, but I've got Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe somewhere. If not, I can get it again. I've got, I think somewhere I've got, I don't remember what service it's on, or if I had the CD and I ripped it or something. But I've got Railroad Tycoon 2, I think. That one might have been on Steam. Yeah, Anno is one of those things where sometimes it's just slow to progress. And there is a lot of micromanagement, a lot more than I think I personally care for. But the way the game is designed, I think, is fun. Water beavers are hard, man. But it's fun. It's so much fun. Yeah, Alex is not with us on this stream. I think it's... actually, no, it would be morning over there, so you definitely could get on something and see this. But he was the one that came up with the idea for that diversion, posted a bunch of pictures in the Discord. So I modified the design slightly that he sent me. But, oh hey, this can go off. Let's do that. But it was a good idea that he put up, and we got more to fix on that in Sunday's video when we get to there. But let's get this in, pop that path right there. And now we've got space for these. Actually looks kind of cool, centered like this. But now we can start thinking about automating these. Although, if I'm honest, that would not be a great use of a bot because they basically just sit here. So instead, I would probably say let's automate this hauling post. And that gives us 3 left. And then I guess if we have, you know, decent charging in a lot of spots, which we kind of do now, we could just keep automating more hauling posts. But I would have to make sure, like right here we have these 3. Do you think that's enough for this area? I mean, this is still kind of far. We might want to put one over here. You know what? Actually, this would be a great spot for it. Just right in the middle of all this. We could make this kind of a little a storage area. But put one engine, say, maybe even just right here, honestly. And pop a path around the outside, as one does, and then get the charging stations in. So we'd have 6. And we probably wouldn't ever use all 9 at the same time, but this would draw 800 and, yeah, math is hard. 50 times 9, 450. And this puts out 400. But it's good to have options for them to recharge, and once this is, you know, reasonable coverage, I think we can just go ahead and automate everything. You're going to try the combo Iron Teeth and Folktales mod. I've never done it. I think it might be a fun video or a stream idea. Oh man, Worms Armageddon was a great game. I don't think I have a copy of that. I always had a lot of fun playing with my friends. Like back when there was a dedicated room in the house for the computer, or even if it wasn't dedicated, it was always called the computer room. It wasn't the living room with bookshelves and chairs. It was the computer room, because on a desk there was a Gateway 2000 with the 15-inch CRT and the cow print box or whatever. And that was the computer room. Finally get to catch a stream and it's 2 hours in. Yeah, it's also about to be over. Sorry about that, but I do have to go take care of other things. But we got a lot of good stuff done today. We got 83 beavers, 83 bots. 83 bots. We've got a lot of things already automated, and we're well on our way to getting other stuff done. We've got portable power stations in a couple different spots for these guys. And I think we are in a really good spot, friends. Got a lot of stuff taken care of. Lots of stuff still to do, but I like what we've got going on. I'm going to go ahead and... okay, I'll leave this one alone because there's already 5 vacancies for the bots. But that's probably going to have to be where we leave it, folks. Like I said, I have some stuff I got to take care of, but we're going to try and stream this again on Saturday. Depending on what else is going on, I might try to do an evening stream. Also, it's supposed to be really hot, so I don't want to be running a 700-watt space heater in my bedroom when it's 95 degrees outside. But I will let you guys know in a community post whether it's going to be evening or afternoon for Saturday. And then Sunday probably will be an afternoon stream. Again, depending on what else I've got to do. But we will do this on Saturday, and then Sunday will be either Satisfactory or something else. I'll let you guys know. But I appreciate you being here. Even if you're only here for a couple minutes. Sorry, those of you who joined recently, but we will pick this back up again. We got Folktales coming out tomorrow morning. So 19, Beard Boosters get that one in, I don't know, T-minus 2 minutes, or however long it takes me to get back into the thing once I end stream here. But again, I appreciate all of you, seriously. Very, very, very much enjoy getting to do this. And of course, appreciate all of the gifted memberships and everything that help other people get early access to stuff and help me out a whole lot. More than you guys could ever understand. But appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.